Cool. Hello and welcome to Strive Defense Diary. After a gap of few weeks, we are back with today's episode. So is my guest, General Harsh Kakar. Sir, good evening and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rakesh. A pleasure. Always a pleasure on Strive.
Thank you, sir. Sir, we are talking about Bangladesh. Bangladesh is a very, very important neighbor जो जिस हमारे बिल्कुल करीब है और which was once upon a time part of India. There is cultural and language affinity with Bangladesh. लेकिन आज there is a political uncertainty, economic pressure, इलेक्शंस बांग्लादेश में भी आने वाले हैं और हमारी अपनी वेस्ट बंगाल स्टेट गवर्नमेंट के भी इलेक्शंस हैं सर. अभी इन रीसेंट वीक्स जो एंटी इंडिया सेंटिमेंट्स हैं बांग्लादेश में, दे आर ऑन द इंक्रीज. ये एंटी इंडिया सेंटिमेंट स्ट्रीट्स में देखने को मिल रहे हैं, सोशल मीडिया में देखने को मिल रहे हैं, पॉलिटिकल लीडर्स इसका इस्तेमाल कर रहे हैं सर. दिस feeling increased after killing of an activist who was known for his anti-India views, जिसके बारे में आपने अपने आर्टिकल में लिखा भी है, और इसको इमीडिएटली लिंक कर दिया गया इंडिया के साथ कि जो हादी के किलर्स थे, they have moved across the border into India. Sir, my question to you is कि ये क्या इंडिया ब्लेमिंग अब इस एक तरह से रूटीन बन गया है, और जब हम हर प्रॉब्लम को इंडिया के साथ जोड़ के रखते हैं तो एक ही देश हमारे जो दिमाग में इमीडिएटली क्रॉप अप करता है इस पाकिस्तान से. तो सर ये आपसे मैं जानना चाहता हूं कि ये जो करंट एंटी इंडिया मूड है बांग्लादेश में, क्या ये सर शॉर्ट टर्म है और ये पाकिस्तान की तरह एक सिचुएशन बन गई है कि वो हर चीज को, अपनी जो इंटरनल प्रॉब्लम है उसको भी सॉल्व करने के लिए वो इंडिया का नाम ले रहे हैं, इंडिया का कार्ड खेल रहे हैं. सर व्हाट इज योर व्यू ऑन दिस?
देखो, देयर आर मल्टीपल रीजंस कि ये क्यों हो रहा है. लेट्स स्टार्ट फ्रॉम लास्ट ईयर, जब वो व्हेन दे हैड द स्टूडेंट्स uprising in Bangladesh which led to the overthrow of Sheikh Hasina. क्या हुआ? शेख हसीना इंडिया आ गई. Now automatically in Bangladesh the belief is India is protecting Sheikh Hasina. Whereas जो बांग्लादेश के अंदर जो actions हुए हैं, even her trial has been farce. Forget about India, even the UN Human Rights और बाकी organizations ने ये report किया है that the trial is farce and it is illegal. पहली बात ये है. Second, in any country in which next to whom is India, India is a big brother. Indian economy, Indian size, Indian armed forces का size, Indian power बहुत है. How do you play the game? If you want to come into power, play the anti-India game. अब मालदीव्स में ले लो, पहले श्रीलंका में था. Take the Oli government in Nepal. यहाँ पे if the opposition is to gain power, play the anti-India narrative. पाकिस्तान के अंदर it is already there, the anti-India narrative. So it is actually a sort of fashion या trend, अगर आप देखो हर neighboring country के अंदर to play the anti-India narrative to come to power. How is Mizo in power? उसकी टी-शर्ट पे क्या था मालदीव्स में throughout election? It was basically an anti-India statement. उसने टी-शर्ट पहनी throughout. What happened immediately after elections? Realization आया कि India is the only country which can save us. अब श्रीलंका के अंदर was an anti-India sentiment. Today it is no longer an anti-India sentiment क्योंकि India is the one that's helping you out. आज भी हमारे लोग श्रीलंका में हैं. Now, Nepal के अंदर भी the Oli government was playing the same game. Basically, that is one way कि भाई big brother को दिखाओ कि he is looking to gain benefits. Secondly, in Bangladesh, the Jamaat-e-Islami काफी टाइम के लिए दबा के रखा था शेख हसीना ने. Basically, because they were involved in the 71 war. They were the ones who were supporting the Pak forces. उनके कुछ leaders को death sentence भी मिला था. Now it is rising. If it has to regain its strength, it has to play the anti-India card. Third, अगर आप देखो, Pak ISI is now getting involved Bangladesh में. और उनका जो procedure है, it is to play on narratives. उनका target audience कौन है? The youth of Bangladesh. The youth of Bangladesh has not seen 71. They're all born much after 71. They are not aware कि पाकिस्तान ने कितनी atrocities करी थी. 3 million women were raped. Hundreds of thousands were killed.
Correct.
उनके entire educated professors, everyone was killed. Now they are playing the narrative that India was interfering in Bangladesh and exploiting Bangladesh during Sheikh Hasina's time. If you look today at the on social media, you will find a number of comments coming from Bangladeshis that India exploited Bangladesh during Sheikh Hasina's time. In reality, it was the reverse.
Correct.
The reverse is that basically in Bangladesh, it was Bangladesh which was exploiting Indian markets. The exports of Bangladesh could not go through Bangladesh ports. They didn't have the capacity. They were using Indian ports. It was all free. They were using Indian land to transport goods to Nepal and Bhutan. That was not being charged. The sort of benefits that they were getting, इनको food grains, जितना shortfall था, India would provide on a very discounted rate. इनके medical supplies would go from India at a discounted rate. So basically, India was boosting up the economy of Bangladesh. We were treating them as our brothers because we had liberated them in 71. We had fought together for 71. It was not India alone that fought. The Mukti Bahini stood with India. We fought together. अगर मुक्ति बाहिनी का support नहीं होता, we wouldn't have achieved what we did in 14 days. They were the local troops. They knew the land. They had the intelligence. We had the firepower. So without the intelligence, without knowledge of territory, your firepower is not so effective. So it was a combined operation. और अगर आप वो स्टेटमेंट पढ़ो 1971 का, उसके ऊपर लिखा हुआ है that the surrender of Pakistan forces in Bangladesh. So basically, I mean, now the youth are not aware of this. So Pakistan is exploiting the situation to build an anti-India narrative because they want to exploit Bangladesh territory.
Sir, I'm sorry, sir. Sorry for the interruption, sir. सर, किसी भी सोसाइटी को अपनी इस तरह की हिस्ट्री भूलना कि 1971 में क्या हुआ था और जनरल न्याजी जो कि पाकिस्तान आर्मी के जो उस टाइम पे ईस्ट पाकिस्तान में थे, sir, how bad it is for the society to forget about what atrocities Pakistan had done at that particular time, and then इस स्टेज के ऊपर आकर फिर वो पाकिस्तान के साथ हाथ में ला रहे हैं, उनके साथ दोबारा काम कर रहे हैं. सर, इसके बारे में आपका क्या कमेंट है, सर? How is it harming Bangladesh?
See, all this changes with time. You look at what the US did in Japan. 2 nuclear devices. Today, Japan and US are allies. What the British did with India for 100 years. Today, we are allies. See, you are able to get over, but the difference is Bangladesh has been insisting that Pak apologize for what it did in 71. It has not yet apologized. Even the current interim government has asked for an apology from Pakistan, which is one of the reasons why the Pakistan Prime Minister or Inka Field Marshal Asim Munir or the constitutionally protected Asim Munir cannot step into Bangladesh because they will demand an apology.
Correct.
But at the same time, avoiding an apology, interacting at the lower level, दूसरी बात एक और देख लो. I don't know, I have this strong feeling that as far as this guy is concerned, the interim leadership is concerned of Mohammad Yunus. For Yunus, there is a different feeling altogether. You see, his strategy has been, let me go closer to India's adversaries.
Correct.
That way, India will bend and come to meet our needs. क्योंकि हम वैसे तो मान नहीं रहे थे. We had laid down clear conditions. There will be a proper democratic election. All parties will be permitted. You cannot ignore democracy. So if you are not in a position to do that, then automatically there will be an issue about India supporting you. So if you go closer to Pakistan and China, he expected India to bend and come close. वो हुआ नहीं है. We have stood our ground.
But sir,
With the bargain, he has been left high and dry.
he has to understand, sir. Talking about closer ties with Pakistan, China, or दूसरे regional grouping, but geography also matters, sir.
It does. Today, if you realize,
he cannot
4,096
copy
kilometers.
Pakistan style.
See, 4,096 kilometers long border with
Correct.
India. Your
Correct.
survival is on India because agar aapki और India relations are good, a lot of trade will go through your ports. A lot of linkages will go through your areas. For every bit of use of your territory, you will be paid. Nothing is free.
Correct.
So who gets the income? And who gains? See, one has to realize today, why is Pakistan losing out? Afghanistan-India trade is no longer through Pakistan.
Correct.
India-Central Asia trade is no longer through Pakistan. With the bargain, the CPEC is a waste. Itna investment ke baad, if nobody is using the CPEC, China doesn't pay for the CPEC. So where does Pakistan gain? It's only paying for construction, but it is unusable. If India was to use it, you look at the income that would come. The Tapi pipeline.
Correct.
Turkmenistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, India. The entire flow of gas through Pakistan would be paid because their territory was being used. So you look at the sort of income that is coming in. But here, when you go anti, we can look for alternate means. And we have alternate means. It may be a bit longer, but it meets our requirement. We managed it for 75 years.
To some extent, it is. To some extent, it is true for Bangladesh also, sir. It has an opening into Bay of Bengal, and he can actually expand his trade. He need not depend on India's this things.
Correct. It can expand, but basically, you see, without its ports, do not have the capacity.
Yes, that I.
Yes. Even if you're building the capacity, it's going to take a very long time.
Yes.
Secondly, all their exports, majority of their exports were through Indian ports, and they were not being charged. Ab aap socho faida. How much are you saving? That is why you are financially secure. Now you look at it in another way. India had kept taxation on its clothing industry. Why? To give a boost to the Bangladesh clothing industry. Today, thanks to Trump's tariffs, thanks to India-Bangla relations, we have dropped everything. So now Bangladesh goods are no longer coming into India, it's our own produce. We were providing the cotton to Bangladesh for their garment industry. We are not. Today, you're buying it from Pakistan at much costlier rates. You're transporting it by ship. So in every way, you're buying now the same rice and whatever you needed, you're buying it from Pakistan or the Middle East. If it's coming from the Middle East, it's Indian rice with Middle East packing. Companies there are making a profit. Where is Bangladesh gaining? So, and this whole game is being played because the elections are coming up next month. The political parties,
Yes.
which are the stronger political parties, forget the youth. The youth are playing their game because they're too carried away by the propaganda. The mature politicians are aware that you have to survive with India. And if you have to survive with India, which is why if you notice, yesterday or day before उन्होंने demand किया कि हाड़ी के killers have vanished into India. आज press
Yes.
conference के अंदर their own officials are mentioning they have not gone into
Yes.
India.
And a senior officer of special branch who's responsible for internal security has made a statement that India
And
has no
I would
hand and
like to,
the killers have.
and Rakesh, I'd like to add here, there is a very strong possibility that Hadi may have been killed by elements within Bangladesh or the ISI because this was one
Yes.
way to build a strong anti-India sentiment.
Sir, sorry
उनको
for intervention, sir. There seems to be a pattern in what you are saying, sir, uh, including the killing of that Deepu, that Hindu
yeah,
citizen, sir,
correct.
blaming him of blasphemy. So there is a pattern that is seeming, sir. Sir, I will put in my question also so that you can take your argument further, sir.
But there's one
Sir,
thing
ये
more. There's been another incident today in Khulna where
हाँ sir,
another youth leader has been targeted. He, I believe, is
correct.
out of danger because the bullet entered and exited without causing any damage.
Yes,
But now these targeted killings, it is so easy to say one person says India is involved, it spreads like wildfire. The
correct.
Foreign Office issues a statement, they're linked to the Awami League. Why specific Awami League? Because the
Correct.
Awami League has threatened to protest against the decision to ban them in the forthcoming elections.
Yes.
But now, when you say that these guys are linked to the Awami League, unka protests lose value on the grounds that ye dekho, aap responsible ho. So the moment they come out to protest, there will be violence in the state.
Correct. Sir, एक और थोड़ा सा we'll do one more analysis of Pakistan Bangladesh situation, then we'll move on to the security posture along the IB, that what are the threats we have, sir. Sir, unlike Pakistan, which was created based on two nation theory, where religion was a very important factor, sir. Primarily the reason why Pakistan was created was religion. Whereas if you look at Bangladesh, 1971, it was the language and culture and political instability because of certain actions of West Pakistan, as it was called. So religion was not a factor for creation of Bangladesh. But now, if we see, radicalization or fundamentalism is actually getting into Bangladesh slowly. So, do you think this is a feature which will continue, or after taking advantage in the upcoming elections and whenever elections take place, that the affinity with other community will be more based on language affinity rather than the religious affinity as far as Bangladesh is concerned? So, how do you see the role of Islam in Bangladesh vis-a-vis what is there in Pakistan?
See, in Bangladesh now with the Jamaat-e-Islami free and the ability to influence, the rise of radicalization in Bangladesh will continue. And it will continue more in the rural areas than in the urban areas. This will be a norm because it's something which is taken off, and it is in the rural areas that the Jamaat-e-Islami, as also in the student bodies, has a bigger hold. Now, jahan par radicalization increases, the anti-India, the anti-Hindu sentiment will rise. The fact is that the educated lot have realized and they are aware of where the fault line lies. Even today, they are the ones which are trying to push the government that you're moving on a wrong line. The business community is saying that if we have to survive as a nation, we need to be with India. The government may want to, but how much would any government be able to subdue? Another factor we have to realize, in all countries in South Asia, less India, the army plays a major role. They are the ones that are holding the nation together, whether it's Pakistan, whether it's Nepal, because the political situation is in a flux.
Correct.
As long as the army of Bangladesh and India stay together, are aligned in thought, they will ensure that things don't go beyond a point.
But you have mentioned in your article that there was a call from Bangladesh Army Chief
Yes,
to
yes.
to
You have, you see, the sort of networking between the two countries' armed forces is a lot. It has cooled down since the riots took the student riots took place, but the relationship between the two armed forces is close. We still have people going to Bangladesh for staff college and NDC. That has not stopped.
Yes, it has not stopped.
Recently, the Bangladesh contingent was in Calcutta for the Vijay Divas.
Vijay Divas.
The Indian contingent was in Dhaka for Vijay Divas. So we still have our links together. The Bangladesh army chief has not come down to India, but shortly, normally once or twice a year, he's in Delhi. And on the way back from Delhi, he halts in Calcutta. So that sort of a network will remain. It's not going to go. And as long as this happens, one can be rest assured that there will be some form of stability in ties. And that
Sir,
is the silver lining in the entire scenario.
yes. But sir, there are spoilers also, in the sense
Yes.
that because of the tense security situation that is prevailing in Bangladesh, especially in bigger towns where there is a substantial Hindu population, sir. So we are expecting Hindu population to move. Along with it, it is not going to be restricted to Hindus also. There will be from other religion also, because they are not finding themselves safe there, sir. Now, there
Definitely.
will be certain actions which BSF has been taking. There have been killings. So again, social media will get a sort of enough fuel to induce that polarization maximum, sir. Sir, किस तरह से ये एक बड़ी सिचुएशन इंडियन गवर्नमेंट के लिए बन जाती है? हाउ टू हैंडल दिस, एंड व्हाट वुड यू रिकमेंड, सर?
So as of now, we've got to be silent. We've got to secure our fronts, which is why, if you notice, that the army is now establishing posts, something which it never thought about a year ago. Today, we're looking at posts which will dominate the border, especially at at crucial points. We may possibly also, to some extent, enhance deployment close to the border only as a precautionary measure. Now, that is something which you're doing. At the same time, as far as the government is concerned, wait and watch. Watch the elections. Possibly the BNP may come. With Khalida Zia very ill, her son not yet having come back, whoever comes to power, hopefully it will be a sensible individual coming to power in the center in Delhi, in Dhaka. You may find a turnover. You see, like Nepal has been, you have a government which is anti-India, you have a government which is pro-India, so you will always have that sort of a feeling. You have part of the population which dislikes India, you have part of the population which wants to get along with India, so that will continue. There is no two doubts about it. Hopefully, we'll be able to again get back to reasonably good ties, and possibly the sort of support that we've been giving earlier may again restart. All this is based on the assumption that the elections are held next month. And these incidents that have taken place, the two incidents, one in which the person is safe, which can ignite again, are no longer there. You see, and interestingly, if you look at the analysis of the world, why should Western nations comment on Hadi's incident, whereas none of them are commenting on
Yeah.
Imran Khan's 17-year sentence? None of them have actually commented on a number of other incidents which have happened. But why Hadi's incident? Now, again, there are interests. You're only doing it because there are interests. The US is currently got a contingent in Bangladesh, feeding the pro-democracy freedom fighters in Myanmar. So they have to stand by there. उनका इंटरेस्ट है. जिस दिन वो खत्म हो जाएगा, they will go तुम कौन मैं कौन. So far, there has been no talk of assistance to Bangladesh from the US, like Pakistan has been getting. So, it is individual nations' interest, which is why they're commenting. And another factor is India is growing too strong and too big. So, you see, it's again the interest, because otherwise, for the West to comment on an Hadi incident, who's neither a politician nor the leader of a state, every day there are 100 killed anywhere else. If a former prime minister is given 17 years in jail, you don't want to comment on that. But here the person is only launching his campaign. And he's fighting independently, not as a political party.
Correct. Correct.
Is he of national importance that he needs a comment from Western leaders or from Western nations? So, you see, these are all issues that are coming in. And then the blowing up of the Delhi incident in Bangladesh and Pakistan, जहां पे 20-22 लोग इकट्ठे हुए थे और कुछ नहीं था.
Correct.
So, you see, all this is indicative that the current government is playing into the hands of the radicals, possibly to try and push the current policy of anti-India. Possibly. And I guess we'll have to wait, because
Sir,
Yunus, you realize, is linked with Clinton and the rest of them, which are part of the deep state. They're all with the Soros Foundation. So we need to actually wait and watch till February.
Sir, what I have gathered from our discussion so far is that Bangladesh is likely to be another source of uncertainty around our peripheries. For at least till such time you get a government and it gets elected. As government, anti-India may not, and they are aware that it is not of use to them. लेकिन political party को इसकी जरूरत है. Anti-India.
Because I told you, you look at Maldives, Muzu coming in with Quit India. You look at Oli, that story about the वो कौन सा था border point with India on the Indo-Nepal border, coming out with a map, doing all that drama, displaying an anti-India star. Basically, what was the intent? Political intent to gain power. The previous government in Sri Lanka moving close to China. Now,
So
ultimately, what happened?
on the lighter vein, I can say that these are the pitfalls of democracy. Sir. That
जितने
इलेक्शंस होते जाएंगे उतनी पोलराइजेशन सोसाइटी में बढ़ती जाएगी सर.
और जैसे इलेक्शन खत्म होगा, you look at the change. Today, whom is Muizu banking on? Whom is Sri Lanka banking on? Whom is Nepal banking on? It'll happen here. These are gimmicks for elections. But what happens is, in the gimmicks, when you radicalize the youth, when you involve the youth and build such levels of hatred, it's not easy to turn the clock back, number one. Because here the youth are getting the power. The youth parties are standing for election independently. But not that they will be able to play a major role. Ultimately, it will be one of the major political parties. If you ban the Awami League, then you open the doors for the BNP.
Yes.
Now, they also know no matter who comes to power, if you have to survive, you have to turn to India.
Absolutely. Yes.
Today, you're
In
playing
fact,
the
my
game
next
for
question
votes.
was that, sir. My next question is that uh, Yunus has recommended SARC minus India.
You can't. What is SARC
He,
minus India? Who is going to join it?
he said so, sir. So, sir,
He's
I actually wanted to ask you, can Bangladesh afford a prolonged breakdown in relationship with India? Oh, in case it does so, उसके और कौन से partner है which can replace India and support Bangladesh?
Rakesh. Yunus is not a Bangladeshi. He's a US citizen.
Correct.
He is not going to stay in Bangladesh. उसने स्टैंप लगा दिया as the interim chief administrator of Bangladesh. He's going to go back to Washington or to France. He's not going to stay there. So for him, he is doing the bidding of his masters there, and he's going to go back there. He's not going to stay here. Bangladesh is going to lump it. 30 years hence, once Yunus is no more and they rewrite the entire history of Bangladesh, it will happen what's happening now. But that's what he's doing. He's living for today. And he's playing on the fact that Sheikh Hasina is in India. Because he's got a personal enmity since she barred him from standing for elections.
Correct.
So he's got a personal enmity, and as you grow old, that enmity builds in you, and that is exactly, he's in his 80s. How long is he going to remain? Next month elections ho jayega, a month or two after that, he will vanish permanently. He's not going to come back. He's got what he wanted. He got a name, reputation. He's now been the interim chief administrator of Bangladesh. Khatam. He's left behind a legacy and he's gone. So he's not a Bangladesh citizen. He's not going to win the elections.
So before we take on the questions from the viewers, sir, my last question. I want you to look into future, sir, based on what is available as of now. My question is Bangladesh still at a point where it can stabilize internally and reset ties with India?
I have said this and I'll repeat it again. Let's wait post-Feb. In case elections are held, with the current chief administrator, no. Because his body of advisors, he had to manage it with a collection of students, members of the Jamaat-e-Islami and the BNP. He has to keep everybody happy. That has been the sort of nature under which he survived. If elections are held and Bangladesh goes through, the party that comes to power will realize in no time, and if it's the BNP, no matter whichever party comes to power, that without India's support, they can't. You have to realize, even in our elections, we played Operation Sindoor, we played a lot of these issues. In elections in every country, you play this up for political benefit. Here they're playing the anti-India card, they're playing the Sheikh Hasina card. Basically, they're playing it up for election purposes. And hopefully, a mature government in Bangladesh looking to improve Bangladesh, taking it out of the mess in which it currently is financially, where they got a Nobel laureate to try and pull them out, he's only sunk them deeper. Because he doesn't understand what governance is. He's only run a bank. But the fact is that if you have a sensible government which wants to pull it out, it has to look at its big brother. Unless it gets support from India, it's difficult for Bangladesh to succeed. Which is why you notice we are not commenting. Which is why you notice we are maintaining silence. The demands for Sheikh Hasina's repatriation, ab dekhoge, India comment nahi kar raha. It just says we are studying. It is not even taken the case up to court. It's done nothing about it. Because that is our maturity. We are waiting for a change of government. We're waiting to see how Bangladesh moves. And if it's a sensible leadership, they realize that without India, they cannot go through. And if they open Bangladesh as a corridor to India's northeast, every day the income flowing into Bangladesh will put it out of a lot. If we use their ports, it will be on payment. So in no way can Bangladesh lose. If it has to manage, it has to change ties. By
Yes.
going closer to relations with Pakistan or China, both of which are located way away, it cannot afford to threaten India. The military knows where it stands, it knows what its capabilities are. यूथ जो खड़े होके चला रहे हैं कि वी विल टेक ओवर नॉर्थ ईस्ट, वी विल टेक ओवर दिस ग्रेट बांग्लादेश, भैया यू नीड पावर टू डू इट.
Hmm.
You cannot do it with one squadron of Air Force and one regiment of tanks or two regiments of tanks. You need much more military power. You cannot do it any other way. And if you have to think about doing it, so they realize the reality. The fact is, everybody is playing up for election votes. Let's wait.
Right, sir. I think now it's time. There are a lot of other aspects which we could not touch because of shortage of time, sir. Sir, if you permit, with you and other members of Strife and few guests, we would now like to do a series of podcast on Bangladesh. We've not touched upon water. We've not touched upon the trade. We've not touched upon the armed forces and relationship with other countries. This we will eventually do it in next few episodes. Sir, quickly we'll
Right.
take few questions, sir. Uh, General Chaturvedi has commented on. Uh, I'll add that
Yes.
even Indo-Bangladesh Ganges Accord was
Yes.
extremely generous to Bangladesh.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely. We've settled the
right,
entire
sir.
border, all the enclaves, everything has been sorted out.
Absolutely.
In fact, we were
Sir,
the only
again,
ones
another
to put
comment
the
from him.
international tribunal. Ah,
Yes, yes, sir. And in fact, again, we've been so generous to Pakistan as well as to Bangladesh. And, it was a true, as far as Indus Water Treaty was concerned and the Teesta Water Treaty was concerned. So it was a true exhibition of Big Brother, helping the
ah,
neighbors with waters. This you have covered, sir. I'm just
ah,
putting,
ah.
I think Tahir Hussain says that in 1971 war, it was not India helping Bangladesh to get liberated, but Bangladesh helped India to defeat Pakistan. So, I mean,
Chalo,
this
it's a
is
matter of
this is
perception.
another way of it is fine, sir, because it is their way of representing what
Correct.
happened on ground, and it's fine, sir. And we have to give it that generation is
Yes.
over. अभी दूसरी तीसरी generation आ गई है, तो it's fine,
Ah,
sir. Okay. With the present state of affairs, will there be an election in Bangladesh in the near future? Is
I think there
Colonel
will
AK
be.
saying?
February में हो जाना चाहिए, hopefully. नहीं तो एक आधा महीना डिले होगा, पर इलेक्शन तो होगा ही होगा.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, there'll be a fresh set of riots against the interim government.
Correct, sir. Okay, sir. Uh, this is another question from Colonel AK, sir. For all our links with Bangladesh military, why are their military brass silent?
No, the Bangladesh army chief has spoken to our army chief, and he said we will, and he assured us that all our assets will be protected. And I think there is a regular contact between the two armed forces. There is no doubt about it.
Absolutely. There's a question from Colonel Jitendra Chauhan, sir. Sir, do you think Bangladesh will go for a fair election? Fair election, sir.
Fair is
Initially,
out of the question.
doubts are being raised whether elections will be held, and now the question has come: will it be fair, sir?
See, the question is, what do you mean by fair election? With Awami League banned, that is the largest political party in Bangladesh, the elections are anyway not fair. It remains there. There is no way they're going to lift the ban because Sheikh Hasina is sitting in India. So the fact is, if they lift the ban but they prevent Sheikh Hasina from coming in, there's a strong possibility Awami League may come back with a new leadership. In that case, it will be a fair election, which is exactly what is India's demand.
Absolutely.
But if they don't do it, then there is no fair election. But election will be held in some form.
Okay, sir. Rahul Basu says Bangladesh has gone in a Syria's way.
No, I
Next
don't
comment
think
I
so
will
in
leave.
Syria's way, at least. It not yet. It is still fairly okay. This is currently the stage which is actually between a revolt and a settlement. So there is that period of confusion. Luckily, the armed forces remain the stabilizing factor.
Sir, there is an interesting question. Again, probably comparing with what has Pakistan done. Will Bangladesh provide a military base to the US?
I doubt it will, because I don't think the US needs a base as long as India is there. It's got the Quad, it's got everything. It may maximum want a sort of a surveillance network there to monitor China, but I don't think it will need it there. What it needs is a facility to support the pro democracy movement in Myanmar, which it already has. There are reports of a few troops being there in Chittagong and other areas, basically to support the Myanmar pro democracy movement to counter the influence of the Chinese on the Myanmar in Myanmar. So this is already there and this is continuing, which is the reason why the US is interested in Bangladesh now.
Now, another thing is there, sir. In fact, if we see Bangladesh is right in the soft belly of China, Tibet.
Yeah.
So giving military base, China would be very, very uncomfortable. And going by, there is also a narrative being spread that by destabilizing Bangladesh, China also has interest in not so stable Bangladesh as of now. So there are reasons why we
See, you have to realize. In fact, I've raised this point in multiple other forums. The Northeast is of lot of interest to a number of countries:
correct.
China, Pakistan, Bangladesh. As long as there is problems in the Northeast, it draws out troops from the Chinese border.
Absolutely.
The moment you draw out troops from the Chinese border, the concentration of the BSF on the Bangladesh border, they all are impacted. So there is a lot of interest to keep that area alive. Whereas India wants that area to be under such control that the Assam rifles are more than enough, we don't need anyone else. So there is that issue which is there, which is of concern. And that is something which is always a thought
And
process in our minds.
no, but sir, if we see the unstable borders, 4,100 approximately border with Bangladesh. Now we
4,900,
are spending
4,100, sorry, yeah.
100 so
Ah,
approximately. So
ah,
now we spending money on fencing, sir. We are increasing our vigilance there. Naturally, the resources which we could have, our formations which were required on the western stroke northern border will also get engaged here. A little bit of shararat in that Titliya silent, and then we have this that airfield that Hart, sir.
Lamori Hat.
Uh,
Lamori Hat.
Gamoria. So all these your resources are going to be dissipated there, sir.
See,
So
it's not exactly
who
that.
all benefits? Sir? Who all benefit? China benefits, Pakistan benefits because the
See,
availability of force would be that much
see,
less. You are
see,
also draining your
firstly, if you activate one airfield, it won't make very much. But
agreed, sir.
something, but there is something, you see, I would look at it more of interest is when you understand the India Bangladesh border. Have you been there? I've gone there.
So, yes, sir.
There are villages where the
Correct.
window opens into Bangladesh and the door opens into India. Right? It is very difficult to try and demarcate where
Absolutely.
exactly the line goes. And those are the areas which are the most difficult ones to patrol, maneuver, and
And and,
manage.
and sir,
You've
river
got
river
water
changing
bodies.
constantly,
Yeah,
river changing the courses
correct. That's what I'm
or
saying. Then
wo,
you got water
uh,
bodies. Now,
water
water
bodies.
bodies, you can't fence. You have problems in those regions. So the border is very difficult to manage. It's manpower intensive. Unluckily for us, and luckily for Bangladesh, Despite whatever Mahua Moitra says that nobody wants to say in India, Bangladesh has got a better standard of living, the entire flow of population is from Bangladesh to India, not India to Bangladesh.
Hmm.
So, with the bargain, we are the ones who have to deploy. We are the ones who have to manage, not the other way.
Absolutely. Sir, I think we're running short of time. I will quickly now go through, sir. What is the meaning of open arm welcome of Pakistan by Bangladesh?
I,
Mrs. Karan
I, I,
Sarad said.
I had covered this. I had covered this. You see, Yunus is trying to adopt a policy. If we go closer to Pakistan and China, India will be compelled to come in support of Bangladesh, despite us not being very fond of India. But India has decided to stay away. We're not commenting. We're maintaining a distance. We're keeping absolutely quiet. We're saying you do what you want. How long can you do it? They can't come and provide you support from 3,000 kilometers, whether it's China or it's Pakistan. Nobody
Absolutely.
can do that. All they can, Pakistan can give you nothing except ideology. China can only give you loans at high rates of interest. Nobody can do anything for you. The only ones who
Absolutely.
can do anything for you are your next door neighbors. And that's it.
Absolutely. Kalarpi, sir, will military cooperation with India continue by Bangladesh? If no, which country would come to help them out, US or China?
See, military cooperation India Bangladesh exists. It is there. We've generally been close as far as the military brass is concerned. We still are in touch. Weapons, after all, you're our neighbor. You won't buy our weapons. You will buy it from someone else. You will not buy it from your neighbor. That's understood.
Correct.
So that's exactly what they're doing. And they're not picking up weapons that are of a threat, major threat to us. A squadron of Air Force is nothing. A
Yes.
regiment, two regiment, three regiments of tanks is nothing. So it's not a major threat. You're getting it for your own requirement to display your own power, to keep it for your own needs. You have a Myanmar border which is of concern, which the way things are moving, it can always be a problem. But for India, that military power is not much.
Sir, there is a comment about internal situation in West Bengal. I think it's out of the preview of this
See,
particular episode.
I,
We
I'll
will
just
handle
cover
it
it
in
this way.
future.
I'll just cover it in a simple sentence. The border districts of West Bengal, Assam, Tripura, all these regions have undergone a demographic change.
Yes.
There has been. In fact, a few years back, there were incidents of bomb blasts in these because there were bomb making factories for the insurgents in Bangladesh itself. And they were the ones that were manufacturing it here and sending it across the border, and there were a few blasts here. Now, these regions have undergone a demographic change, and now I think with the SIR process that's on, there is an intent to try and rechange the demography, and I think to some extent it will work. Let's see how it goes. Earlier, if you remember, quite some time back, there was a comment from Mamta that we will accept Bangladesh refugees. That comment no longer comes. So there is a total change in feeling now.
Absolutely. Sir, we've run absolutely out of time. Now, I think I would like to close it. One thing is for sure, geography will not change, history will not change. The choices which we make today, and I'm saying this with reference to both India and Bangladesh, what choices we make today are the one which are going to decide on future, what exactly is going to happen. So we have to make the choices very, very wisely. Sir, I thank you a lot for sparing the time. I think there is a need to continue with our programs. We've got some positive comments. Long time, good to see you. These type of messages are there. So I think we will continue, and this time we'll try and maintain the continuity. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.